Indifference in the family is not always revealed through arguments or harsh words, but often hides in seemingly normal behaviors of modern life. First, there is the absence of face-to-face conversations. Instead of sharing stories over a meal together, a common sight now is each person holding a smartphone, scrolling through social media or watching videos, even when sitting at the same dining table. Words are replaced by text messages, and emotions are expressed through soulless emojis. Children may feel comfortable sharing everything on social media with hundreds or thousands of strangers, but feel awkward saying a word of encouragement or confiding in their parents. Second is the prioritization of external social relationships. The lives of many young people are shaped by work, study, friends, colleagues, and entertainment. Time for family becomes scarce, even a burden. Dates with friends, outings, or even a late night at work are prioritized over a warm family dinner. The promise of, "I'll be home early," or "I'll come back this weekend," becomes a familiar phrase, but it is repeatedly postponed for reasons that are not truly urgent. Third is the awkwardness in expressing affection. The older generation often shows love through care and heartfelt questions. But many young people today consider hugging their parents, saying, "I love you," or simply holding their hand while walking is awkward or difficult. They fear the judgment of others, or simply do not know how to express their emotions naturally. This awkwardness creates an invisible wall, separating the feelings between family members, making parents and children feel more distant than ever. The root causes: the changing tide of society. This indifference does not arise spontaneously. It is the result of many social, cultural, and technological factors. First and most obvious is the explosion of technology and social media. The internet and electronic devices have brought a vast world, allowing us to connect with people globally. However, the flip side is the isolation in the real world. We may know all the news and trends, but we don't know what our parents ate today, or if our siblings are facing any difficulties. Social media creates a virtual network, making us mistakenly believe we are communicating and sharing, but in reality, it's just superficial interaction without depth. Second is the pressure of academics and work. The younger generation today faces an unprecedentedly fierce competition. Since sitting in school, they have been racing against grades, degrees, and extracurricular activities to have a perfect resume. As they grow older, the pressure to find a job, maintain it, and get promoted becomes even heavier. Their time is allocated almost entirely to work and social relationships for work. When they return home, they are exhausted and just want to rest, with no energy left to care for and talk to their family. Third is the generational gap and lack of empathy. Parents and children belong to two different generations, growing up in two completely different social contexts. Parents were born in a difficult time. They value persistence, sacrifice, and strong bonds. Children grow up in an era of convenience, freedom, and individualism. They value independence, private space, and the right to choose. This difference in mindset, lifestyle, and values leads to disagreements and conflicts in communication. When they cannot find a common ground, both sides choose to be silent and distant, creating an invisible wall of separation. Fourth, individualism and excessive freedom. The younger generation is educated to be independent, self-reliant, and to pursue their own dreams. This is a positive development, but if not balanced, it can lead to selfishness and a lack of responsibility towards family members. They focus too much on themselves, on what they want and need, forgetting the people who gave birth to and raised them. They see parental love as a given, a gift they are entitled to, without needing to reciprocate or be grateful. Right versus wrong. What needs to change? To correctly understand the issue, we need to objectively analyze what is reasonable and what needs to change in the lifestyle of today's youth. What is right? The inevitable maturity. Self-reliance and independence. It is an inevitable step of maturity for the younger generation to leave home for school and work. It helps them build character and problem-solving skills. This is a positive development and should not be seen as indifference. Having private space. Every individual has a need for private space and personal freedom. Not wanting parents to interfere deeply in every aspect of life, work, love, friends, is a healthy boundary. This doesn't mean they don't love their family, but rather they are building a life of their own. Diverse social relationships. It is necessary for young people to have many friends and social connections for their development and integration. Friendship and love are also important pieces of life, and cannot be put on a scale to compare with family ties. What is wrong? The loss of core values. Indifference and carelessness. The biggest mistake is indifference and carelessness. Instead of just a geographical distance, it becomes an emotional one. No matter how busy they are, not taking a moment to check in, not listening to their parents' confidences, or viewing returning home as an obligation or a burden, is completely wrong. Taking family love for granted. Many young people see parental love as a given, a privilege that doesn't need to be nurtured. They receive without giving back, forgetting that parents also need care, love, and respect. They do not realize that parental sacrifice is priceless and not always there. Abusing technology. Technology is a tool, not a purpose in life. Using a phone at the dinner table, during family gatherings, or only communicating via text is an abuse that diminishes the meaning of those precious moments. It creates an invisible distance, turning loved ones into strangers. The eternal value of family, where we belong. In this volatile world, family remains the core value, the most peaceful haven one can find. Family is a strong emotional anchor. Life out there is full of competition, pressure, and failure. There are times when you will stumble, get discouraged, and want to give up everything. At that moment, only family, parents, and siblings are the only place you can find sympathy, tolerance, and unconditional love. They don't judge you, don't demand perfection, but simply stand by you and help you get back on your feet. Family is the first and eternal school. Parents are the first teachers who teach us lessons about morality and how to live. Siblings are the closest friends, teaching us how to share, give way, and love. These values cannot be learned from books or any school. Family is the only place that accepts us completely. Friends might leave you when you fail, colleagues might compete with you, but family won't. They love you for who you are, with all your strengths and weaknesses. They accept you completely, without requiring you to wear any mask. We, the young people, cannot change the flow of society, but we can completely change our own way of life. Busyness cannot be an excuse for carelessness, and freedom cannot be a reason to forget our roots. Let's start with the smallest actions. A phone call to check on parents every day, a message to ask about a sibling, a cozy weekend dinner, or simply a tight hug. No matter how busy you are, dedicate quality time to your family. Listen to your parents with all your sincerity. Don't judge or try to change them, but try to understand them. Living a filial life is not an obligation, but a choice. The choice to live a meaningful life, not to please others, but to find peace in our own souls. Being filial to parents is not only a way to repay their debt of gratitude, but also a way for us to be an example for our children in the future. Let family love not be just a concept, but a concrete action, a daily habit. Because as we grow up, our parents will get old. Time waits for no one. Let's cherish every moment, so that in the future, we won't have to regret the things we didn't get to do. Let family love become a warm flame, passed down from generation to generation, never to be extinguished. Thank you to everyone for taking the time to watch this video. I wish you all good health, happiness, and every success in life. To give our channel more motivation to grow and bring you more meaningful messages, we truly hope to receive your support. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you find the content helpful. All of your feedback is incredibly valuable, so please leave your comments below. We will listen and strive to improve every day. Thank you very much.